For the past 15 years, our business model has been standard. Phone calls to fish for appointments, and if they consent, a visit by a representative to make a pitch. Because we have no storefront, these reps bring sample kits that can weigh up to 60 pounds. More recently, we've digitized a great deal of our offerings which the reps can present to the customer on their laptops. Despite the convenience, the experience our customers receive is awkward. The laptop isn't easily shared and navigated at the same time. Furthermore, these visits can take up to 4 hours to close the pitch and sign a contract. The population that is receptive to this sales model is older, and much like that target audience, our business is tapering off. To stay relevant to the current generation, we need to be a practical solution, one centered around convenience. In the early 20th century, Sears put out a catalog that had over 100,000 deliverable items, from groceries and appliances to entire homes. When Sears opened its first retail outlet in 1923, it reached the middle class that was more interested in value, favored practicality and durability, and allowed customers to select goods without the aid of a clerk. It had ample, free, off-street parking, and communicated a clear corporate identity. This two-pronged approach of convenience is what enabled Sears to become a household name, being the most accessible solution for customers. Today, 8 out of 10 customers use the internet to research and purchase products. 85% want self-service access to digital store content. Almost half of those buyers will visit a store to check out the products in person, before then buying the same product online. Understanding this, there are 2 reasons people go to a physical store today: to get a feel for the item, texture, color, size. They want to better understand what they see online. For this reason, review videos have proliferated because the manufacturer fails at fully representing their product. Secondly, to walk out with the item immediately. While shipping can add to the cost, the biggest perceived cost can often be time. The Genesis project is the beginning of our next generation app. It is the rebirth of the Sears Wishbook, with all of the advances of the modern era. To that end, we must first overcome the shortcomings of our current presentation. Namely, the assets are static, existing as rendered images in a predefined design. Consequently, maintenance of the application is cumbersome, requiring the direct involvement of management, trainers, artists, and programmers. Our current turnaround time for modifications is 1 full month. Content is shown, but not necessarily explained. Therefore, it requires a representative to explain the material to the customer. Consequently, extensive training resources must be committed to ensure our material is presented correctly. Unfortunately, no 2 pitches can be guaranteed to be the same, and the reason for a lost sale may rest on the experience a customer had with our rep, rather than our offerings and prices. It only runs as a Windows desktop application, and the hardware it was designed for is quickly aging. Many applications are required to make a sale, most of which have overlapping functionality and no cohesive dataset or appearance. Our plan addresses these issues. Assets are dynamic. Existing as actual 3D models, offerings can be interacted with directly. Viewing from any angle or playing with their function, users can explore products beyond the limitations of commercial photography. This also allows us to dynamically show all variations on a product and any combination of products together. Maintenance of content is handled outside of application development. The application stands as a framework to present content that is dynamically updated by management through a web portal. From there, they can change live dates, valid markets, photographs, and a host of other related data that is then ingested by the presentation. Turnaround time drops to a single day. The material stands on its own, with polished videos or interactive exhibits which explain complex concepts in simple terms. With video, we can curate an experience that concisely communicates and packages our message with salesmanship's best practices. The videos you're watching now were made by Kurzgesagt, and while they cover complicated topics such as fracking, the history of time, and the solar system, their videos are approachable and enjoyable. As an example of an interactive exhibit, here is GE's Smart Grid project.
Here, visitors explored a 3D world that brought complex smart grid technology to life by showing how the smart grid was good. Rather than bore people to sleep with ugly PowerPoint charts or case studies, we took all of our information and made it into educational exhibits. And instead of asking people to just sit and watch, we invited them to interact with those exhibits, showing things like how the simple adoption of the smart grid would equal taking millions of cars off the road.
With information stored contextually, we allow someone to dig as deep into a topic as they are interested. Using a unified codebase, we deployed to desktop, mobile, and web. This consolidates our efforts and ensures a consistent user experience for our customers, however they choose to interact with us. While there are many solutions for multi-platform development, Unity 3D is the only solution with a high-quality 3D engine, giving us the ability to render lifelike scenes in real time. One application, from browse, to build, to order. These features bring us to a modern status quo, and while significant, we're not alone in our attempts to create an interactive 3D application for customizing homes. This home customizer app created by NVYVE is using Unity 3D. It was produced to allow customers to view available floor plans before construction began. And while their goal is not home improvement, the product looks strikingly similar to what we hope to accomplish. We want to go beyond that and attempt something that's truly untapped. We're looking to augmented reality as a killer app feature. The idea is simple: overlaying 3D models on a live video feed from a camera. However, until recently, the ability to do that was dependent on printed registration markers that denoted size and orientation. Recently, depth sensing cameras have arrived on the scene, allowing us to detect dimensions of a room within an inch of accuracy at a distance of 12 feet, without the use of markers. Users will be able to simply face their kitchen, tap the countertops, and choose from a list of swatches to see what their home improvements would look like. They would then be able to receive a ballpark estimate of the cost of their project and schedule a visit for final measure and install. Additional features include: shop the entire Sears catalog virtually, create wish lists, pre-visualize their dream kitchen, bathroom, etc. project and share it with friends, be notified when items on their wish list go on sale, and purchase a project when they are financially ready. Have a curated list of pre-designed room collections, which can be visualized in a user's home. Built-in chat, voice, and video calls to speak with a rep should a customer have questions. Our two primary competitors have already made forays into virtual reality. Last year, Lowe's put out this booth at an expo, which allowed customers to use a marker-enabled room to explore a 3D bathroom. This year, Home Depot put out this garage visualizer, in addition to their existing 2020-based kitchen visualizer, available today on their website. Till now, the dominant consumer hardware for depth sensing has been in the form of the Xbox Kinect. More recently, it's been adapted into the structure sensor. However, the company that developed that, Israeli-based PrimeSense, was bought last year by Apple. Its prevalence in the consumer market is likely to saturate within 3 years. There's a swelling interest in virtual reality. Projects such as the Oculus Rift, Samsung Gear VR, Sony Morpheus, Valve Vive, and Microsoft HoloLens exemplify the need for us to innovate and provide the app for the content-hungry next generation. The following major tasks need to be addressed for this to happen: a solid application framework, a compelling user interface, texture artists to create optimized assets for quick loading and rendering, vendor cooperation, providing us with their 3D models and a team of modelers to integrate them into our application. Our flavor of augmented reality will require a computer vision expert to implement an abstraction of real-life objects into simplified models. A case scenario for this would be scanning a kitchen, identifying a countertop, ignoring surface clutter, such as coffee pot and plates, and generating a 3D model of that countertop that matches those dimensions. Accurate lighting would be approximated by identifying light sources from the 3D scan. The countertop model and the environment lights would then be reintroduced into the scene, relit and laid over the camera view. This could also be used to empty the room entirely. What we're planning is unprecedented, and it will take a multidisciplinary team a significant amount of time to make it. The nature of our business is changing, and technology is already moving in this direction. If we want to stay competitive, we need to make this happen. Let's do this.